Hey guys, what's up? It's Willie B here, bringing episode 8 of Bukkit plugin tutorials to you. Today we're going over timers, it's both scheduled and repeating, or both delayed and repeating, sorry. Which basically means we can set a repeating task to happen every certain amount of ticks or seconds, and we can have a delayed task to only happen once, but happen after a certain amount of time. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be setting up a repeating task that says hello to the player that runs the command /timer, and it's like the plugin YML is set up. The on enable, on disable, everything is already set up. So all we're doing is inside of this the on command method. If the sender is instance of player, and we've already got the player variable set up there. So we're going to be saying hello to the player every half second or 10 ticks, and then after 100 ticks or 5 seconds it'll stop, it'll say goodbye, and then the first task that's repeating will be cancelled. So to do this, and for repeating things, you can set it to an int, so int ID, but you can just make it run on its own, so you don't actually need to do that int ID. That's just so we know what the ID is, so we can cancel it later. So bukkit.get server.get scheduler dot everything on there. Schedule. You don't want to do any async unless you're not using Bukkit API, I think is the case, but I always just use sync because I don't want to break things. Sync repeating task. This, and if you're running a multi-class plugin, you'd want to get an instance of your main class and use that instead of putting this there. But since this is equal to our main class, we can just put this new runnable parentheses, and then you want your squiggly bracket things, and I'm just gonna shift tab those back because I like how that looks. Now if we mouse over runnable, we can click add unimplemented methods. What that's gonna do is gonna add the run method here, and then inside of here all we're gonna do player.send, my computer's a little slow I guess, hello player.get name, and then for here the first number here is how long after it starts, so the initial delay. So we're just gonna have this at 0 ticks, and it goes in ticks. There's 20 ticks per second usually. That's what it's supposed to be on a server. If the server's lagging, it will be, you know, less ticks per second. So if you set this to 10, theoretically that should happen every half second. If the server's lagging, it might happen less than that. So we've got that set up there. So that's our repeating, and now we're setting up the delayed. So bukkit.get server get scheduler dot schedule sync delayed task. That one there. Again, we're going to do this, and then new runnable parentheses, enter squiggly brackets, tab that back to add unimplemented methods again, and then here we're going to do player dot send message goodbye. Kind of ominous, but whatever. And then the next line here, bukkit.get scheduler dot cancel task with the int, and then we're going to be putting ID in there, so it's going to be canceling the task with this ID, which is this task here. And then we're going to set this to 100 ticks or 5 seconds, and then we're done. So it's about 15 lines of code, give or take, depending on how much indentation and stuff you put into it. Not indentation, but white space. Yeah, and then we're good. So compile this up, export it, put it into your test server, and I'll see you over there. Alright, so we're on our test server now. We've got the plugin all loaded up. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to type in /timer, and like I said at the beginning, I already had the plugin.yml set up, the on-enable, all that stuff already set up. So if you don't know what has to go in there, check out some of the earlier videos. Probably 1 or 2 would have all that information for you. I'm just right now trying to cut down on the length of time for these videos, because I feel like a lot of it is repeating what we've already done, and I don't want to have to do that every time, because then as things get more complicated, I don't want to have to start from scratch with each one and then end up doing like a 1-hour video or something. So I'm trying to keep it relatively short and to the point. So we're just going to type in /timer here, and then we should return true for our command, but it says hello Inamine every half second, and then says goodbye, and then it stops. So when goodbye runs, it's canceling the hello Inamine repeating task. So once goodbye is said or sent to the player or whatever, then it stops, and that's it. That's all there is to it. It does get more complicated the more you add into it. However, that's the basics, and you can still do quite a bit with that. You can count down, you can run for loops and things like that inside of them, and do some pretty cool stuff with it. I really like timers, and I use them quite often for things I do. So I would definitely recommend using them if you're not doing anything that has to be very specific. I wouldn't run a clock off of these, like a 24-hour kind of clock. I wouldn't run that. I would use the system time rather than trying to keep track with the timers, because if you end up being off by a few ticks here and there, that'll compound obviously and snowball into being off by a couple hours or whatever. End up being like a microwave being off by a couple minutes. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and next video, or episode 10, I'm not sure which I'll do it with, but one of the next couple of episodes I'm going to be doing all of the topics I've covered so far. I'm going to put it, as much of it, into one plugin as possible, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how to use the stuff we've gone over. So basically, I'll be going over each tutorial. I'll be taking some of the stuff from it and adding it into this. So last time I think we did GUIs, I'll add some timers. I think we did custom faces at one point. I'm not sure if that's true. I don't know if I've done that one or not. But basically everything we've done so far, I'm going to put all into one plugin, and we're going to go through it, and I'm going to show you guys how to make that plugin. It's probably not going to be very useful for a plugin, but it'll at least show you guys how to use the stuff we've gone over without making the specific thing I made. Because I had a suggestion or a request from somebody asking for this idea, and before then I hadn't really realized that it wouldn't make sense to everyone else how to use it. Since I'm the one doing it, I obviously know how it works. But anyways, I'm probably rambling at this point. Just got out of exams, so I'm a little bit tired. One more exam and then I'm done for the Christmas break. So hopefully I'll be able to get a couple of videos out over the break, which will be nice. But thanks for watching. Leave your recommendations for future videos in the comments. I do read them. I respond to pretty much everyone, I think. I try to respond to everyone. So leave a like, it helps a lot. Hit subscribe if you want to stay updated. Hit dislike if you really didn't like the video. Thanks for watching. As always, peace out.